Greetings, this is Chris, and welcome back to Wasteland Stadium. Now, with its name up in lights, thanks to the trickery of console commands. Yes, I've revamped the entire arena to hopefully make the battles much more visible. So, let's give you a quick tour to show what I changed. Well, this tower remains pretty much the same. There's a laser musket on top of it, but it's a little more centralised because I removed the platform that was going across the inside of the arena. Now the arena has absolutely no platforms above it, making things very much easier to see. I've also placed spotlights within the arena and lights around the outside because the spotlights on the edge of the arena didn't seem to provide enough lighting. I'm still not completely confident this video is going to turn out that well, so we're going to do a number of different rounds in a number of different lighting conditions to see how things go. I still have the spring-loaded traps here, but they've been slightly moved around. The mole rats are still ready to go. Those are there to lure out our contenders. Here's the red team. The lasers connected to flamethrowers have been moved a little closer to the centre of the arena, and the flamethrower itself is put at the edge here. We have some more spiked pits. The Myalert cage remains as before. The central area was completely untouched by the settlers last time, and I think the reason for that was the pathfinding couldn't cope with very narrow, i.e. 1 floor wide areas. So I've now made it 2 floors wide and had to fill in the gaps with something solid. But that does mean that we can have 3 trapdoors. There's plenty of weapons around here as well as before, lots of shotguns and assault rifles. We have a plasma rifle in this corner, added new. The 2 traps here, spinning blades intact, and the minigun trap all ready to go and electrocute anyone that goes near it. The ghoul is now in this corner, pretty much as before, with the completely useless gamma gun. Now, if we have a look from on top, you may also notice that the wiring is now rigged all the way up around the outside of the arena instead of involving any pylons. Pylons generally get in the way of seeing what's going on. And I did experiment with streetlights, but streetlights do the same basically. You can't see what's going on. So if we look from the outside, I've added several new entrances. 4 entrances around the outside to make my life easier. I've redone the switches. We have the spotlights as before. We have the doors opening up the red and blue teams areas. We have the cages, which opens up all the cages except for the mole rats. And we have the traps, which we can turn on or off. This switch over here is the switch that begins the fight, because this one releases the mole rats and gets the 2 teams out of their areas. I put this on a separate switch to make my life easier, and I put it in this corner because I think this gives us a very nice view of everything that's going on in the arena. Possibly, I need to be a bit higher. I may experiment with no clipping to get a bit higher. I've also moved the platforms to the outside of these walls, which, let me tell you, is really damned painful to do. You can't clip them on naturally, but for some reason these 45-degree angle wooden pieces do clip onto the inside of floors, and the square pieces do clip onto those. So if you place one of these and then place a square piece, you can put square pieces all the way around the outside, provided you take into account the spacing. The nice thing about this is that the stone walls, or the concrete walls I should say, can now have their own built-in railings like this. And these railings are much nicer than the ones from before, I think. Here are my settlers, being stupid.
Look about you.
I've set off the little quitting time siren, but the guys just don't want to sit down for some reason, and they enjoy getting in my way quite a lot. This is my delightful name signpost. It looks rather awesome. I used set scale in the command console to make everything twice as large on the neon lights there. But be warned, as you can kind of see by the way they're placed, this does mean that the clipping points are not in the correct place. So when you try to put any letters next to any other letters, they overlap far more than they should do. Possibly you could fix this with some spacers, but for now I think that'll do. Here's the red team. So far in all my tests, the red team have been triumphant, so if you're going to bet on this fight, that's my hot tip. And I think we're going to be just about ready to go. So, join me for round 1 in just a second. So here we are, round 1. It's the blue team on the left versus the red team on the right. I'm going to open their doors, and this first round takes place at night. So as soon as I flick this switch, the battle will begin. Place your bets now. Here we go. The mole rats are loose. Both teams have noticed. The red team there on the right moving in with their fists. The blue team are letting the mole rat come to them. A bit of a mistake, it gets them pinned down. I've made the precaution of disarming the settlers in advance, which gives everyone a much better chance of actually fighting the monsters themselves. And the blue team and the red team have engaged. They have engaged on the left of the screen. On the right, the red team are picking up weapons, but the blue team, they seem content to punch people. There's a gamma gun, but the red team have a laser rifle. They've got a laser rifle and a flamethrower. Is the radiation from the gamma gun enough? Oh no, the flamethrower's clamped down on that blue team member. They've gone down. It does not look good for the blue team. No, they've picked up a shotgun. They've picked up a shotgun. The shotgun against the laser rifle. Meanwhile, there's just fist fights in the middle. It's all fist fights in the middle of the combat. They don't know what to do. Who's going to be triumphant? The red team do not look like they're in a good position. Looks like those shotguns have done the job. Yes, there we go. The blue team have won. The blue team have won. Yes, thanks to, I think, the double-barreled shotgun and this team member here. This team member was content to use nothing but their fists, and the combat shotgun of this team member, they've been triumphant. Things to note about this battle: no one falls into trapdoors. I don't know why. I've never actually tested it with raiders, but for some reason settlers just don't walk into trapdoors. And this also goes against all the previous tests I ran, where the red team were continually triumphant. So, well done, blue team. Round 1 goes to you. Join me in a second for round 2. And here we are ready for round 2. This time we're at midday, and the skies are clear. Should give us plenty of light so we can see what's going on. So, let's open the team doors. And when I flick this switch, round 2 will begin. Last round, blue team were triumphant. This time, it's anyone's game. Let's see how it goes. Place your bets now. The fight is on. The mole rats are loose. The blue team seem to have a much larger mole rat this time. But they're punching it good. The red team have defeated their mole rat. No, not quite. One of them's gone for a melee weapon. Blue team still just going for punching, not thinking about weapons, whilst the red team have gathered at least a shish kebab. And the flamethrower. The red team have the flamethrower. Oh, but the blue team, they've set off the Tesla trap and picked up the minigun. It's a heavy price to pay, all that electricity, and the man with the minigun has gone down. I think he took someone else with him. But they've picked up a plasma rifle. They've got a plasma rifle and a gamma gun. The red team have got nothing. Could this be another blue team victory? Unexpectedly. The red team members just running. They don't know what to do. They're dead. They've fallen through a trap, finally. But as they died, so it doesn't really count. That's a shame. The crowd over there cheering them on as the blue team once more win. This time thanks to the plasma rifle and... where's the other one gone? I think she was unarmed. No, she had the gamma gun. Gamma gun seems quite powerful against settlers, as it turns out. Possibly because they're weak. So, round 2 to the blue team. That just leaves round 3. At this point, the blue team's won the series, but round 3 could mean that the red team at least get to save face. Join me in a minute. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, for round 3. Can the red team gather back any of their honour after the appalling defeats at the hands of the blue team in the previous 2 rounds? We're at dawn here, 7 AM in the stadium, as we prepare for round 3. We'll open the team doors, and we'll retreat to our observation corner. So, let's flick the switch and see if the red team can get anywhere. The battle's on. The teams have noticed the mole rats. Blue team on the left there. They've got a very weak roll mat. They punch them to death immediately. Red team have also killed their mole rat. The fight's on between the 2 of them now. Red team are going for weapons. One of them's got the laser rifle. Blue team, despite the early start, killing that mole rat almost immediately, they're just sitting around. The laser rifle is doing astonishing work here. But the minigun is out. The blue team have the minigun, only to be shocked by the Tesla arcs, and that takes down their minigunner. That leaves the red team on 3 men. The blue team on 1. A gamma gun versus a flamethrower, a shotgun, and a laser rifle. Well, it wasn't going to last. But the red team have done a terrible thing. They may have won the round, but they've accidentally released the monsters. Oh my god, they've accidentally destroyed the ghoul cage. That disrupted the electricity between the ghoul cage and the bear cage. The ghoul and the bear are fighting each other, and one red team member looks on as the other 2 have just been destroyed. Yes, it's a laser rifle versus a bear, and apparently one of my settlers still has a pistol. 2 of my settlers still have pistols. So, Red team member just couldn't stand up to that bear. It was too much to ask, I think. Even with a laser rifle. He's destroyed the spotlights. Yes, the bear is now destroying spotlights left, right and centre as all of 2 settlers with pistols tried to take them on. At this point, it would be prudent for you rest of you to not stand there, but hey, you seem to be enjoying yourselves. From my circuitry, the Mirelurk's still intact as well. The Mirelurk cage is still intact, and only when I open the cage doors will it actually be released. So let's release the Mirelurk, and let's see whether or not the bear notices. Oh, some more of the veterans, settlers have got onto the playing field, and they've started picking up weapons. Oh yes, one of them has a minigun. But he didn't stand up for much. Only their ultimate invulnerability will help them. Every time they go down, they'll come back up. That's the disappointing thing about settlers. They just won't die. Unlike the blue team and the red team. So the bear goes down. And that's a rather dull fight, ladies and gentlemen. Rather dull fight there. But the red team saved some of their honour and integrity there. They weren't as completely useless as we thought they might be. Because at the very least, they defeated the blue team that round. Surprisingly, given how easily the blue team killed their mole rat, they just hesitated after that. And a man with a laser rifle is much better than a man with some just fists. So, as the settlers kill off that Mirelurk, we'll end here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. This has been fun. Well, we're back. I thought we'd do one more extra content round. We're in the middle of the day, nicely brightly lit stadium. And I think it's only fair we see how the teams fare against the creatures themselves, without interference from the other settlers. Although they do have a habit of clipping into the arena somehow. So we'll open the team doors, and then we're going to open the cages. And then we're going to let the mole rats loose as well. Because there just can't be enough. So let's see how things go now. Well, the ghoul has got off to an early start, going for that mole rat. The other mole rats, seems to dislike spotlights. The blue team have come out. The blue team have come out and they're fighting pretty tough ghoul. My character's level 14 to give you an idea what that skull really means. And one of the blue team has elected to punch the ghoul. He is doing a sterling job though. That ghoul has not made an attack since the blue team member started punching. But they are punching. And only punching. I think it's only a matter of time for that team member before they eventually go down. The bear has taken on the ghoul as well though, giving this man a chance to get a weapon. Is he going to go for the minigun? He doesn't seem concerned. He's picked up the minigun and the ammunition, but he set off the trap. The ghoul is now dead at the hands of the bear. That leaves the red team. The red team fighting the bear with a minigun. Oh no, that's a blue team member with a minigun there. 2 red team members, a flamethrower. One of the red team seems more concerned about killing off the blue team member than the bear. Blue team member still valiantly fighting that bear though, who doesn't look remotely concerned. The blue team seem to have defeated the red team member who invaded their private team area. By the looks of things, we've got settlers on the field somehow, broken through doors through cheating means, no doubt. The bear himself, well, he's not long for this world, I fear. He has killed off another blue team member, but there are still 2 more remaining, so it's to naught. It's to naught. Will they manage to kill off at least 1 more person before they die? Well, they knocked down a settler. That's better than nothing. So, it looks as though, thanks to the help of settlers, unarmed settlers who somehow managed to get into the arena despite my fences, those utter bastards, have helped the teams defeat the various creatures of the Wasteland. That's a real shame, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps I'll experiment with adding some of the tamer creatures to one team and we can have a proper battle of man versus beast. But for now, after a slight blue team victory with some assistance, I think we're going to leave that here. That's all from Wasteland Stadium. The lights have gone out because somebody destroyed a power cable. But thank you for watching. I've been Chris. So long and goodbye.